And we welcome you back. Al is calling next. Al, thanks for the call. Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure and an honor to be talking to you.
Oh, thank you very much.
As I just wanted to kind of tag on with what Smoke and Jeff had to say. Is I was born and raised in the Big Ten, and when I moved to Michigan, my neighbor was Dave Fredericks, whose father was wrestling coach at Ohio State.
Oh, sure.
So every time Ohio State would play in Michigan or Michigan State, well, I always went to the games, and I thought the Ohio State-Michigan game was the greatest thing ever until I got transferred to Birmingham, Alabama, where I was able to listen to you and Patty and Doc on the radio.
Patty and Doc, wow.
You remember that?
I sure do. I knew them both.
All right. Well, my first SEC game was Alabama-Auburn in '85 at Legion Field.
All-timer.
And as you know, Legion Field is metal. It's steel. It's not cement. And we had about 40,000 people on the right-hand side stomping and raising hell for Alabama, and 40,000 people on the opposite side. And that was versus going to Ohio State-Michigan game where, you know, whoever was the visitor had about 7,500 seats in the left-hand corner. And at that point, I became an SEC fan.
Yeah, you know something, Al, for a long time, that was the greatest game I'd ever seen. And, you know, there are a couple that have been added to that collection, a couple more Alabama-Auburn games I might add. But that's I think the lead changed hands 4 times in the last 4 possessions, and it ended on a 53-yard field goal or whatever. I mean, it's just an amazing. That game will live with me forever.
Well, it sure stuck in my mind. And what I like, now that I'm down here, it's amazing, the SEC. No matter what games are being played, there's interest in them. Is like I'm looking forward, as everybody else, to the Egg Bowl this year.
Oh, yeah.
Alabama, Auburn, LSU, and Georgia and Florida. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And although, you know, I'm not, you know, criticizing the Big Ten, they just don't have that level of competition or interest.
Well, there's some good rivalries. There just aren't enough. Al, really a pleasure to visit with you. Cat Daddy is up next. Hey, Cat Daddy.
Hey, Big Paul, sounding good, looking good. I guess you've seen that beautiful Gamecock statue and picture.
I did, yeah. Pretty cool.
Well, Crimson Tom comes walking in here today, running his mouth. He said, I hear y'all putting foghorn leghorn up in front of your stadium. I said, you know that's a Gamecock, Crimson Tom. He said, well, how much money have you bet on it? I said, bet on it? Why would I want to bet on them putting up a statue? He said, well, all these people tearing them down, they betting up the Clemson how long it'll stay up there. I said, man, won't you get your looking on out of here? He's crazy. But that is a beautiful statue, don't you think?
It looked good. The picture I saw looked great. Now, if it could just bring some good luck.
Yeah, I know that's right. But can you imagine somebody coming down the interstate and pass that thing on the highway, scratching their head, wonder what that is?
Well, Cat Daddy, why did they have to move it from California is my question.
I don't know. I think that's what it had sculpted at. It's the only thing I can think of, Big Paul. I don't know about in South Carolina does that type of stuff. I guess they do it out there in California. Them crazy people in California, they do a little bit of everything. They nuts out there.
Well, yeah, that is correct. I have dealt with a lot of Californians, and most of them are still in their fallout shelter right now.
Smoking that weed too, I guarantee you. Well, I hope the statue brings us good luck, but right now, I just want to tell everybody that the Gamecocks have 25 active players in the NFL. Sadly enough, I won't be watching the NFL this year, though.
Now hold on. We're 2.5 hours away from the NFL start. You are, and that's over the anthem. Is that correct?
Well, sir, you know, a lot of good men fought and died for this country, and I had friends of mine that went to Vietnam and never come back.
Right.
And I think about them, and I think about the mothers that meet their young sons out there on the airports and the coffin is draped with our flag. And you can protest all you want. I mean, that's up to what you want to do, but then I have the right to do what I want to do, and I just think it's disrespectful. I'm with Herschel Walker and Tim Tebow on that. So I'm going to pass.
And Cat Daddy, I don't. You're not the only one. I have a number of friends who feel the same way. I was just curious. I just wanted to make sure. Hey, thank you for the call. There's certainly there will be a demonstration tonight in Kansas City. You can bank on that. We are heading to a break. Appreciate your call. More of your phone calls at 855-242-7285. Tim Brando was with us earlier. John Bacon. We had the commissioner of the Big 12, Bob Bowlesby, joining us. We'll talk to Cash Daniels in our final hour, and get set. A lot more to do as we continue here on a Thursday afternoon.
Ever wonder just how far an extra mile really goes? Drive a Mercedes-Benz van and find out. Start with a network of over 250 authorized dealerships, backed by a sales force ready to help you with everything from customization to service on vans like the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that's tailored to your lifestyle. With options like Blind Spot Assist and MBUX voice command for spoken directions, weather, and more.
The route is being calculated.
So whether you're enjoying life on the trail or working hard on the job, see how far an extra mile can really go by taking the first step into an authorized Mercedes-Benz van dealership today. Mercedes-Benz vans start at just $33,790, now with 0% APR financing for up to 60 months.
MSRP on our 2019 Sprinter van excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Some equipment is practice optional. APR valid on 2019 Sprinter vans, excluding cab chassis, only to qualified commercial customers exclusively through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services at participating dealers through September 30th, 2020.
For your Gulf Coast Sports Minute, I'm JP. Darius Franklin, the 6'1", 270-pound 2021 offensive lineman, has earned an invite to play in the Blue-Gray All-American Game, an event that will be played December 14th at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Franklin was a key piece of the offensive line that paved the way for an average of 335 yards per game for the Washington Wildcats' turnaround season last year. But Franklin isn't just focused on playing D1 football. With a 3.5 GPA, he plans to study mechanical engineering in college. And while Franklin was able to participate in the Combine, Milton's Trevor Lunsford took a far different approach. Lunsford was unable to participate in football-related activities from January through May while he was recovering from his shoulder surgery. However, last week, Lunsford got quite the surprise. I came home and my mom told me I had something waiting for me on the counter, but it was a letter from Blue-Gray Football. Sure enough, it was an invite to the All-American Game. He was the P&J All-Area Defensive Newcomer of the Year in 2018 and an All-Area pick in 2019. That's your Gulf Coast Sports Minute. I'm JP.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Hey, what's up? Chad here from the Sports Drive. Well, 2020 was off to a great start.
Salud.
UWF national title parades in Mardi Gras.
Come on, let the good time roll.
Coach O and the real Tiger King Joe Burrow winning a national title.
Go Tigers.
And the Blue Wahoo season about to start. But then Tom Brady, after 2 decades of success, decides to mess with history.
You are fake news. Go ahead.
And becomes a Buccaneer. Oh, what was that? Oh, COVID-19 happened. I'm sorry.
I can't take it no more.
And it was a little bit of a rough spring and summer.
It's something that won't go away.
But now the major sports are back. The bubbles are working. The league's in the bubble. Don't have your kids blow them. Some might see those as viral mucus balls coming at their house.
No more!
No more. No more.
Scary, isn't it? And football will return.
Foosball.
Maybe not all of our favorite teams, but there will be football this fall.
Gotta keep our composure!
But we'd like to thank all of our listeners through these challenging times for staying with us as your hometown leader in sports, right here on ESPN Pensacola. Thank you, and stay safe, my friends.
For This Week in Sports History, I'm JP. In 1943, Carl Scheib becomes the youngest pitcher in American League history at 16 years and 8 months. In 1946, All-America Football Conference begins regular season play as the Cleveland Browns beat the Miami Seahawks 44-0 before 60,000 fans. So you're telling me the Browns used to be good? 1963, Braves Warren Spahn ties Christy Mathewson with 13 20-win seasons. In 1970, the White Sox use a record 41 players in a doubleheader and lose both games. In 1987, MLB pitcher Nolan Ryan strikes out his 4,500th batter. In 1995, Cal Ripken Jr. breaks Lou Gehrig's record by playing in 2,131 straight games. And in 2002 U.S. Open women's tennis, Serena Williams wins her second U.S. title, beating her older sister Venus Williams 6-4 and 6-3. That's This Week in Sports History. I'm JP.
Hurricane season is upon us, and although we aim to bring you the latest news in sports, we're committed to bringing the Pensacola community the latest updates and information during the 2020 hurricane season. In collaboration with our sister stations, News Radio 92.3 AM 1620 and Cat Country 98.7, stay up to date with breaking weather news and updates on the biggest storms impacting Northwest Florida by checking our Facebook pages at Cat Country 98.7, News Radio 92.3, and ESPN Pensacola.
This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K, Sports Drive with Chad Brillante, and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Yes, you should. Football. NFL football tonight. I know some people upset, but I'm going to enjoy watching Patrick Mahomes put a lot of ketchup and celebrate with his pal Andy Reid with a couple double cheeseburgers. Big night for football, college football as well with the Miami Hurricanes.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl. Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Both been beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest. 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba.
Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99 on FM. You know, Jerry Seinfeld said once, the world always comes back together. Like, you drop a quarter, you find a quarter at your house. He said, you know, with the cookie, look to the cookie, the black and white cookie on both sides. Everything in his life was equal. His coat ends up bird crap on it, goes home. The brand new car, somebody washed it that had bird crap on it. It's just that kind of life. Well, today has been a very good day for me, but usually it does not work that way. So walking in here, I just looked down at my feet, and they're booby-trapped by about 15 different wires. There's a good chance I'm going to slam into it. Before that happens, I hope you're having a good day if I don't make it through here, because I feel like all the good stuff that has happened today, the balance of powers still has about 6 hours left, and probably a lot of good times for football, which could lead to even bigger problems. How are you doing today before something gets bad? Just want to throw that out there. I'm today's been too good. Like, too many good things are happening, and 2020 is not supposed to go that way. So,
or you could just be having your one good day for the year.
Take advantage of it. I mean, let's go. Go to Biloxi right now. You know, I could ruin that. Dwayne Haskins isn't playing tonight.
Don't push it.
Nice 13-point teaser. Let's make this.
Because you'll break down on the way to Biloxi. So you push it, and then that's what you get. So,
who's coming with me? Who's bringing their green hat? How's your day going? You know I don't start too many of these. Lately I've been like, I'm lucky to make it alive over the day. So for me to come in a happy mood, just saying.
Oh, that's weird. I don't.
Look, Frank the Tank.
You know,
maybe his NFL football's back.
Well, I don't think anybody cares about the NFL game tonight. I think everybody cares about Miami and UAB. Seeing De'Aaron King get
you
back
got a Bill
out
Clark
there.
poster on your wall. You're a big fan. I know.
If he wins, I said this earlier. If he wins this game, you better start building a statue. I mean,
if I bought a Tim Tebow poster now that you're part of the Gator Brethren, you've bandwagoned that, or would you put that on your wall?
I would take that anyway. Yeah. Anytime you can put Tim Tebow anything.
This sounds very awkward. I've seen your closet, though, with like the Northwestern and Purdue gear and some of the other stuff. I wore that Marcus Mariota shirt to help fight off COVID. We were trying to think of the best way, and everybody was wearing the masks. I was thinking if I wear a Mariota jersey, nobody's going to want to get near me, not even a virus.
True.
They'll be like, please,
it worked,
stay away. It did work.
Thank
it worked
you.
for 3 days.
I told you it would.
Even Walmart people were like, oh, get this guy out of it. 2 a.m. in the morning. There were a guy with no shorts on was like, psst, look at this guy over here. But I'm telling you right now, football is back. UAB versus Miami. Any chance of the upset? This is a little bit look, the Canes got way too much love. Phil Steele had them like number 17 in the preseason, and this is when everybody existed in college football. When I say that, this is not like minus two big conferences. They were 17. That was overrated. I don't see them ranked right now, and that's probably where they should be. But tonight, 14-point spread. UAB's already gone out there. They blazed over a semi-opponent. But in this case, college football should be some fun.
But they've played a game.
De'Aaron King tonight. New look, right?
Well, we'll see. I mean, look, I like De'Aaron King a ton. I'm way higher on him than a lot of people are, just because of what he did at Houston. I thought it was impressive, and you know, for people like, yeah, but look, he sat out after, you know, when things went south for Houston. Yeah, I get that, but that doesn't take away from the talent that he has. I think that he's going to solve a lot of Miami's problems. Now, not all of them.
He's the D King.
I mean,
he is.
De'Aaron
King, baby.
I'm just throwing this out there for Miami. This is a really good opportunity to step up. Now, Gregory Rousseau's gone. He decided to opt out.
You said that very fancy. That was nice.
Well, I mean, there's
Gregory Rousseau.
I mean, it's hard not to say Gregory Rousseau without
he is out, yeah.
You know, fancy. But that's that's their best defensive player. That's one of the best defensive players in college football. There's just so many questions, and I think if anything, looking at Kosi Perry, the quarterback last year, he's got a guy now in De'Aaron King that he can learn from. So you're not going to force him in there. They've had such terrible quarterback play, just horrendous quarterback play. I think they're going to win tonight. But with UAB and Bill Clark, look, UAB's missing a couple backups due to COVID restrictions. Interested to see because they just, right before they got on the plane, they tested positive. But they're not going to cancel tonight. So apparently I don't know what the whole situation is with that. All I'm saying is, okay, they're playing. That's all I need to know. That's because anything else is none of my business anyway. But with that being said, UAB last week, you know, they won. Yes, wasn't pretty, but they played another game, and we've seen what playing can help. I mean, you looked at Navy. Navy didn't tackle. You know, this is going to be an advantage for UAB where Miami has not had a game yet. I mean, in COVID now, if we're talking about outside of COVID normal season, no, I'm taking Miami. There's no doubt, but with COVID restrictions and everything, it does give UAB a little bit of an edge. Now, how good is Miami? I don't know.
That's sort of been the million-dollar question for a decade. The Miami Hurricanes, though, out of all teams to be really kicking off the big enchilada, this is the first game of the Power 5 conferences.
Can you get them something a little more Cuban-ish instead of enchilada? Like, is this
is the big arepa. Now, that sounds horrible. For people that don't know that sounds just another, like, somebody thinks that's a Spanish version of a salt. And that's
not.
No, it's a very nice.
It's good.
Yeah. Oh, great.
That's perfect.
Folks over at Mr. Pollo, he's like, don't put me into this conversation. But Mr. Pollo, Eduardo, they've got their new food truck down at the Garden, and it is awesome. If you haven't tried their food, Yelp, like number 61 in the nation. Those are great people, too. If you have not been to Mr. Pollo, everything out of there is awesome. We definitely make sure to go there all the time.
Yes.
I'm expecting lunch tomorrow. That's sort of
That's my favorite.
Hey, tostones. You don't have the tostones.
Yeah, no. Italian.
Look at you. You don't have the tostones for it. Maybe Miami will have the tostones to go tonight, but I think that this is a team where if out of all the teams in Power 5, out of the 3 remaining, out of all the cities to put a game week 1, where you're sort of playing the Russian roulette, it would be Miami because you're like out of every. So they're playing a game where people are going to be like, a couple people are going to miss. That's not the rest of the country. Like there are a lot of play. Mike Gundy wouldn't care anyway, but right now, that's the one place where the hotbed when people are sitting back there. Not ready to shake the maracas just yet. All right, go ahead. You give me the points.
Price is right.
Yeah, go for it. Go.
Can we bring it back this year? Okay.
Yeah. So not your uncles from over at Arities, but.
Tickets tonight as low as $23 to Miami and UAB. Still available. You can sit in the 100 levels for $40 a piece.
Would you go if you had a free ticket to that game?
If I was in Miami, yeah. I'm not going to travel hours.
Look, COVID is real, and obviously, and we know the restrictions, we know that. But there are a few places, like that one bar that's been mentioned in LSU, that 30 people got it the next day. Probably would stay away from that. Being in a game down in Miami, I would also be a little bit. There's a few spots around here. Going out there.
If I lived in Miami,
those Trump boat parades, I'm fine, man. Out in the water. Apparently not. What 8 of them sunk in Texas? The wakes, And I know that. Look, there's some big boats. My family, my in-laws with Born to Run, they got a nice 78-foot boat. And the thing is, I know that those things when the wakes get going. But I was on a 13-foot whaler for my first time ever with the Blue Angel show. Wasn't working it or anything like that. I'm out there on a 13-foot whaler boat trying to get through the pass right there with all the boats coming through. And it was when that nasty storm came in. Remember that was just brutal in the middle of the show. They usually cancel it before, but it was going back. So it is pouring down rain, lightning everywhere, and there's these huge boats coming through. They're not even looking. Most of those people had already been partying, get her done. And we're in here, this 13-foot whaler. I'm not driving it. I'm just saying, milk was a bad choice here. I'm sitting here going, this has got to – and there's lightning bolts hitting everywhere. The only thing I can remember is the water had gone so far up the boat that we were about to sink. And I actually probably at that point felt safer swimming to shore over by the Gulf Breeze side, over by Shoreline Park. I was like, they let me out. But we're in there, and a box of Pringles pops. And that's the last thing I remembered. It's like everybody else was focused on like, Lord, let us survive. And I'm like watching all these Pringles flow. It's the full thing. Popped them.
Did you grab any?
No, I wasn't that hungry at this time. But, yeah, that's how to this day my hair looks like.
The pass is dangerous anyway.
My hair was completely flat before this day. But it was, it was a crazy day down there trying to get back.
But, yeah, to answer.
Was there a moral to this? I forget.
We were talking about going to the Miami game.
I just said,
if I lived in Miami.
Dangerous situations. That's where we're going on.
If I lived in Miami, I would go. But would I travel hours? No, absolutely not. I wouldn't do that no matter what, whoever Miami's playing, period. I don't make that clear.
Not 100% my boat story had anything to do with anything. I just.
COVID or not, I'm not going.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was about. Looking at what's going on. How about the Atlanta Braves? They probably just scored again. Top of the first, they're back in action. They're taking on Austin Voth. Sounds like a Star Wars character. 0-5. He's not using the force this year. 8.26 ERA. So
that'll get it done.
How do you get back after a 29-run game against the Marlins?
Austin Voth out there.
You know, funny is like I feel like the vibes. Nobody was buying our Jack Del Rio to Florida State vibes. We didn't say that either. We just got that started in Vegas. We're the only ones. We Googled that too. We moved the lines in Vegas. That was pretty cool. Not for the best reasons. It was fraudulent, but looking not as fraudulent as Josh Bellamy. We'll get to that in a second. But 29 runs yesterday. We were just talking right when that game was going on, and we weren't watching it live. But we were talking about how teams, after about 15 runs, should be able to, like, wave the white towel, call it a day. Just like that guy that's got, like, the 2-foot putt, but the other guy's in the bunker, and he has to hole out just to have that guy 2-putt to tie the hole, and you're in match play, and you're just like, pick it up. Or you're one of those sleaze bags that's like makes the guy putt the one that's on the edge, the Happy Gilmore. You too good for your home, like right there. And he's like, put it out. Be like, dude, I can blow on this. Professional out there, make him go out there. If somebody made me putt that out and I was in a tournament, I'd be the biggest you-know-what. I would walk 4 to 5 times behind the green, sizing the putter, the cool people looking behind. You can feel the grain. Do you know about that, the undulation in the grain? Some people that don't call. You feel the grain on there. Walk a couple times, take the wind, blow it. Just make a whole mockery of that if that guy made me putt that.
Guy.
Hey, I'd counter with it. But the thing with going out there and watching a game like that, 29 runs. Now, all those great crime dog teams, Andre Big Cat Galarraga out there with all the Ron Gant, David Justice, the tomahawk chop, and I'm still doing it.
Ryan Klesko.
Well, thank you for throwing that in there. That's true. I mean, he was on the list. Mark Lemke. Why don't we throw Jeff Blauser in here? Andres Thomas. We can go old school here. I can go back. I watched Braves games with my dad as a kid.
I grew up watching.
Well, you either watched your team, local market, and I moved when I was little, but we watched the Red Sox, but it was either the Braves on TBS or you had, hey, long fly ball out to right field, home run, Andre Dawson, Cubs win. And the next thing, Steve Stone, and it's ground out to shortstop. We'll be back tomorrow on WGN. Tough loss for the Cubs. And then Sean Dunston, those old guys, Ryan Sandberg. So you either watched Mark Grace, the Cubs teams, or you watched Atlanta. Those were the two teams that were on. Then Bozo the Clown Show would come on and, grand prize game. The Braves, though, all of those great offenses, 16 straight pennants, right? And 29 runs by far crushed that record. Well, they were one run away from the MLB record, correct?
I think so. Just look at the box score and just realize something. They put in Ryan Stanek at the end.
Yeah.
At the end, they put him in.
He's a decent pitcher right there.
Yeah, but you're losing 29.
That's disrespectful, yeah.
Just and he goes out there and he throws an inning. He's the only one that didn't give up a run. But
that was sort of my role at UCF in the preseason. Hey guys, we're down 15. That's when you know you're.
Throw a guy like him and it's just like, here you go, buddy. This is all yours. What did
you see last night? Doc Rivers, he puts in the guys. It's the Clippers versus the Nugs, and you got in the final minute. He calls a timeout, so everybody's a little like, come on, bro. You're up by 13 points, and there's 25 seconds left. But he puts in a whole new group to not take a shot and run out the shot clock. But these guys are fresh. A lot of these guys get off the bench, has one of those four names you've never heard of. You're like, okay, make this happen. Guy comes in there just to dribble out the clock. I'm like, come on, shoot it. Shoot. Nobody did.
We've all been in that high school where you put that guy in.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, do it, and then he scores.
Did you see the end of that game?
No.
Not to say, by that time it was over. Paul George gave a look, though. Morris came in for an easy deuce. This the quick layup to cut it to 11 with a couple seconds left, and nobody was guarding him. Like, the clock could have ran out. And Paul George gave, like, one of those, like, I'll remember that. First off, you're not the enforcer.
No.
What they should remember is you had, like, 4 fouls in the first half, and Kawhi did all the work. But right now, it is something where tonight is going to be a big night. The NFL back, and this is my advice, because I do understand a lot of people. I've talked to a lot. We've been building this NFL tailgate show today, or just tailgate show in general, with high school, college, and the NFL. That's going to be at Beef O'Brady's. A great place right there, awesome place. They're going to have all the flat screens. We did this actually 2 years ago when they were downtown. Last year was at World of Beer, and this year moving the location back over off Pine Forest. It's going to be great. High school football, you get to maybe see your mug. Are you going to be on TV? I told them when I was there not to put me on TV, but they're going to go to you. You have a one shot on you.
I hope not.
Just like this, if people don't know right here, see how I can flick back and forth. I control the cameras. Imagine putting that in the studio with you and Christian. Might get a couple weather reports there on the side. Christian does this with the hands. Today we got some 50 degrees.
I've never seen a man get so excited when clouds roll up.
I hang out with Alan Strum, and I don't know. That's a toss-up.
I believe those two.
Alan has knocked people out of the way to get. He's always riding downtown on his bicycle, and I saw one time he got off the bike and it was a perfect sunset, and he was like, "Get out of my way!" It was like a whole group. I thought it was like, and looked over and he goes live, guys, right now.
Christian's literally like leaning out of the booth. He's like, "Oh my God, did you see that? Look at those clouds, those cirrus clouds." I'm like, "No, Christian, I don't." All right, Christian, the game's going on. No, look at this though.
But
my gosh,
you know what?
beautiful.
But good for them. They love their passion.
I agree.
That's their passion. They got into weather. I would just do it for the cool hands, Italian hand signals.
I just got my weather.com app.
It's not easy for guys to make it as weather people today.
It's true.
Because I get the weather on my phone, but I still watch the Weather Channel.
Easy. I know where you're going with this, and so does everybody else.
Let's go ahead and take a break.
Yes, break.
When we come back, we'll get to more. He said it. On
Go Blazes.
Why not? Why not add to the fuel on this one? We come back, call the wife or gal or call the husband. The equal roll tide on this one. And going to the bar level. 1 through 10, we're going to rank what is on TV tonight because it's a full slate. Don't say Real Housewives. We're coming back for more.
Go Blazes.
What'd you do this time, Brad?
I'm in the doghouse after my hunting trip last weekend.
Yeah, I was too. I blew off our date.
How'd you get out of the doghouse?
Stillwater's Day and Medical Spa. I got her a gift card. It took 3 minutes at swmedspa.com. She booked it this Saturday.
Saturday? So 9 holes then?
Tee time's at 8.
To enjoy a hassle-free guys weekend, treat her to a gift card from Stillwater's Day and Medical Spa. Follow Stillwater's on Facebook or Instagram to enter contests and win great prizes. Or visit swmedspa.com.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
Hi, I'm Matt Kenseth. You don't have to be a race car driver to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you can't control, like mechanical issues, high winds, and rain delays. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and leave the drama for the racetrack.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
JP here. At ESPN Pensacola, we are hometown proud. Like the greatest pound-for-pound boxer of all time, Roy Jones Jr.
Three-time light heavyweight world champion and former heavyweight champion of the world, future Hall of Fame legend, Roy Jones Jr.
What up? This is your boy Roy Jones Jr. and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh, Dilly Dilly!
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Chapper Leonte here with the Sports Drive, checking in on the AP Top 25 preseason poll in college football. The Clemson Tigers opened the season at number 1, followed by Ohio State at 2 and Alabama at 3. 7 teams out of the SEC made the top 25, and 4 in the top 10, with Alabama 3, Georgia 4, LSU 6, and Florida number 8. 9 teams out of the Big Ten and Pac-12 made it, but only for the preseason, without playing in 2020. And FSU still a little work to go, with 6 top 25 votes.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
There it is right there. It's not how it's you just quickly abrupt. Is that how the game's going to go tonight? People are going to get pumped and then quick abrupt right to it?
It might.
That's the pride of everybody. Drum roll. Somebody out there knows this.
There you go.
Good old Blazers out there,
Blazes.
UAB.
Go Blazes.
They had a real dragon. Got one of those.
Cool, man.
What's the one over in Alberta? The dinosaur park that guy made? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Brought Leighton over there. I said for Leighton. It was really for me. They
Did
got
you
the
see
old
guy that
Bama
stays-
henge and all that.
You see the guy that stays in the Triceratops? He's not a part of the park.
No,
He
I think that was
stays
just
there.
a homeless guy when you were there. I don't think he's part of the show. But
that was me, actually.
I was going to say, I don't think that's normal. I just think he just got a bad day right there. Not for him. UAB, though, you had to pick out of all the schools, you're in a school that the city that you're in Birmingham, which becomes the number one market for college football every week, by the way. But it's not for you. You actually lost your program for a little while. Roll Tide. You hear a couple of those in that area. So, yeah, for those people that it's got to be tough. They had a good team. I remember we used to play UAB back in Conference USA days.
Back in the
UCF,
day.
yeah. We've worked our way up to a fake national title in parades. You got Bill Clark. That's a good thing, at least. Oh, ho, ho, ho. There you go. All right, let's get to Call the Wife, going to the bar level restaurant here tonight on some of these games. We can maybe get the fight song going here again in the background. I feel like getting this pumped up here. Maybe the Orlando Magic. And you're looking at me again like I'm not in charge of this. Let's get this thing rolling. This deserves some hype.
Let's get the fight song.
Let's get the juices flowing. We got to call Adrian Stills in about 5 minutes, so let's get this thing.
Oh, we do? How about that?
Look at me. I'm even on top of break time now.
This
is usually it'd be like 5:45, and I'd be like, hey, 5:30. Got to call Adrian. Looking right now at our levels, answering these. Oh, perfect right here. I've never gone to this for Coach K on a Coach is like, you have any other songs? And I was like, hey, listen, I'm getting excited. This is first week. All right, here we go. Call the Wife going to the bar level on this one. Let's start it off. NHL tonight. These are all tonight, by the way, people. Vegas versus Dallas, Western Conference Finals. Vegas, baby. Game number 3. They're not playing in Vegas. It's in a bubble in Canada, but no fans. Game 3.
So what's the
just,
top? What's
top
the
is 10. 1
Oh, okay.
is...
I'll give it a 4. It's a 4. Because hockey fans are hockey fans. They'll watch it. They think it's a 10.
If I give you one more Vegas, baby, can you move it up a little?
Give me a 6.
Okay, there you go. All right, I'll go with a 6.5 on that. It's like Price is Right. 6.1, Bob. MLB Braves on right now against Austin Voth after a 29 run. Let's move on from the.
Too much going on.
I think they're already getting beat right now. 3-0 in the first inning.
Yep,
there we go. Maybe they're going to try to morph that.
Revenge.
By the way, in the Bernie Sanders formula, they scored 48 runs yesterday. Milwaukee and Atlanta combined for 48 runs yesterday, and the Brewers used to be the Braves. So you get a piece of that. Even though they have no correlation anymore, you give it back. Those are two cities that take that.
Does that mean like
48 runs in one day? Ho, 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 go Braves.
The Dodgers and the Yankees, the LA Dodgers and the Yankees, they're the same.
Bernie says, why not? He was at those games, the Brooklyn Dodger games. So there you go. Looking at everybody, right? Right fielder participation ribbons. Looking at the next one here, U.S. Open. Serena Williams, getting to watch the world's greatest. She had her 100th win at the U.S. Open right there, Arthur Ashe Stadium, going up against Victoria Azarenka. 2 people I actually know of in this. Semifinals, 8 p.m. It's all on you. I'm not
It's
I'm
a
not
5.
answering this.
It's 5.
Just
Semis,
you, bro.
it's Serena. I've actually taken to the U.S. Open this year for my first time.
You were so full of it.
But it's the semifinals. I mean, look, once again,
Okay.
but you have to think about this. The tennis fans, you have to include them. We have a bunch of tennis fans around here, more than I thought. Go out there to the what's called park. So
you're pampering this up. I'm asking you.
Me?
So,
2.
There we go. Look at that. Right on cue right there. College football. They knew you were you didn't get the NFL primetime. They were not going to let you be Boomer and
2.
Berman for that. Okay. Now it's back. See?
Yeah,
now that you said
go.
it's a 2.
Now that I know this is me.
It's like Pinocchio. They went to some commercial for retirement when you did that. College football. UAB versus Miami. Ho, ho, ho. 7 o'clock ACC network. Sort of getting dissed on the network. Kickoff to football. You get the ACC network, I guess.
7 for the first half. I want to see how Miami's coming out.
Just
That's
because
it.
of the timing of this.
And then I'm watching the rest of the Kansas City.
It's college football, so I'll give it a 6. But the magnitude of this game.
But if we go to Beef O'Brady's, then I can watch both
That's
of them.
true. Then
So
yeah,
give me an
we'll
8.
go that. NBA Lakers versus Houston, game number 4.
That's a 3. I personally listen. I'm in football
with you.
mode.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I'll watch it if it's not, football's not on, football's on, I'm watching it.
Well, I don't sleep. So what I'm going to do is when the Lakers and Clippers play in the finals or in the Western Conference Finals, which to me is the finals, I'm going to go ahead and tape the games and watch them later afterwards. Just fast forward. All these updates on my phone.
So you'll be up till 6:30 in the morning.
There's no way to get around that these days. It's going to go da-na-na, da-na. I'm going to look down and be like, oh, Oh, let's watch a game I already know the score. Thanks. Looking at continuing through. Call the wife. Going to the bar level here. 1 through 10. Oh, got to put this one on here. WNBA. We got next. That's what I do with the remote. New York Liberty versus Indiana Fever. 2-17 versus 5-15. Woo woo. CBS Sports Network really got a doozy here tonight on a big sports night.
Please don't make me answer this.
That's all you, man. You know where I would go. I would have it somewhere between 0 and 10.
0.
That's very.
I wouldn't even flip it on. It's just sorry. I'm just.
Show's archived. I'm sending it to Elena Deladon. I have her. Yeah, don't ask me how I have her email address.
Don't send it to my girl over there. All right.
Which one?
You know, Sabrina.
With comments like that, she's not your girl anymore.
No, I know. She knows.
I was going to say.
She's doing far better for herself than to stoop to that level.
All right, and I think the one we all know. 12 o'clock, rerun, Sports Drive. No, okay.
Ew.
Right now, looking at the number 1 overall Week 1, Kansas City and Houston.
38. Let's go.
A 38. There you go.
Brandon Cooks, by the way, is questionable tonight. Is that not a Bill O'Brien thing? Like, you trade for this guy, you get him over here, and he's questionable. This is exactly like, couldn't have played out any better than the way I thought it was.
I like your energy here with the Bob Dole hand there, but you do understand that there's a 50-50 shot every time you do this. This table's going down on us.
Tear down this wall.
This thing, I do not need this. I told you, I'm covered by electronics. That thing goes down. It's over here. Weird science movie without the fun part that the actors get to go home. All right. Game tonight. Who wins? I don't know why this is try to make that more exciting.
Is the spread still 9.5?
Mike Tannenbaum might say somebody else.
Is the spread still 9.5?
I'm going with the Jets tonight.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
If the spread,
it's still 9.5.
Okay, so
if it went down to 8.5, you'd contemplate
easy at least 10 points for Kansas City. I just, especially if Cooks doesn't play tonight, where does if your faith in Will Fuller and Randall Cobb, I'm sorry.
I know last year they had Hopkins, but remember, this team was capable of having a 24-0 lead in the first quarter and a half at Kansas City last year in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So they are capable with Deshaun Watson of having a good game.
How'd that game turn out?
Yeah, they lost by 20. They still wouldn't have covered.
And DeAndre's gone, right?
I do understand you play 4 quarters.
That's a third. That's a third of the completions, a third of the touchdowns, everything with Deshaun Watson.
But the Jags are not capable of having like a 24-0 lead at all. Not a 7-0 lead. I don't think they're capable of a 7-0 lead. A pick 6, everyone starts, oh my gosh, they're up. People are like, well, it was a mistake. Like, guy fumbles the punt.
We're liable to see A.J. McCarron come in this game because it gets out of hand late in the fourth.
Average, you want to take a ditty at the average salary of Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson per year over the next 8 years?
What, 40-something million?
42.
Yeah, there you go.
45 per year for the next 10 for Patrick Mahomes. What if he got a cheap ring? He just got.
He's got to save. He's smart.
Buy one. Look, Kohl's. They got those BOGO.
Do you want the $16 million house or the $2 million ring? I'll take the house.
$200 ring. Get one of those candy pop rings. Like,
he went to the pawn shop and got one.
You've got to be kidding me right here. Surprise!
Fake silver.
It's the true litmus test of whether you're going to be with me for a long time. I might have just got paid $500 million, but I'm getting you a lollipop ring. And if you wear it for a week, we're not saying anything, but like it's a candid camera thing. Like if she can go a week without being like, you got to be kidding me. Wake up one morning like, is this serious? Be like, what? Is this really? Like,
she's going to be okay with it because how much is he making a year?
Yeah, he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think
wouldn't care. I know those things are different for girls, but I would not care about the ring. I'd be like, dude, give me a couple Sea-Doos.
But how much did you pay for that? You know what we could have done with that? That would be me. But anyway.
Any lady that listened to this, I was like, this guy.
Yeah, get him out of here. Get these guys out of here.
Get them out of here. $606 million worth of contracts between the two of them. I love when we bring these things up with Coach K on like, hey, do you see these?
Oh, he gets sick.
Yeah, because even as coaches and all them, Greg Litton, he's like, I made a salary where now I still have to get another job. These guys.
He was telling me when we were talking about the Josh McCown thing. He's like, that's pretty much what I made to play in the NFL. And Josh McCown's getting that to sit on his couch.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm sorry, Coach. I didn't mean to bring it up.
No, and honestly, based on that alone, he's making well, he's not. I mean, that's what they made back in the day.
Yep.
There was no stimulus checks.
Adrian
Stills, Osceola Golf Course, joining us 3 minutes ago. Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV.
Go Blazes.
No.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Customers, students, and staff expect a new level of clean. Cintas has the essential products and services to help you carry out cleaning protocols effectively. Cintas performs surface sanitizer and disinfectant spray services to common touchpoints, installs and refills touchless hand sanitizer dispensers, and provides commercial laundry services to help minimize employee exposure. Give everyone the confidence they need to keep coming back. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use ClosetBox instead? ClosetBox is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. ClosetBox's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. ClosetBox's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. ClosetBox has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code RADIO50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
I'm Little Teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to The Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to the Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. As most former PGA members come into a fight song for college football here, the Miami Hurricanes joining us now from Osceola Golf Course, and it is always great to catch up with him, but sports are back across the board. Dustin Johnson's doing great right now on the PGA and joining us from Osceola Golf Course each and every Thursday. Tee it up. Adrian, it's great to talk to you again.
Great to hear your voice, man. It's great to see sports back alive and kicking.
It is, and we were just talking about it. Are you more of a NFL or college football guy?
I'm more of a college guy, and I'm a New Orleans Saints and Tampa Bay fan, so how do you figure that out? But I love college football.
So you have a, house-divided Jameis Winston jersey?
Not really. It's sad to say, but living in Orlando for 23 years, I mean, that was the only team to go see, so I actually have burnt orange jerseys at home.
Well, I remember back in the day. Do you know Vinny Testaverde? This isn't an insult because he had so many interceptions, but did you know Vinny Testaverde is actually colorblind?
No, come on, seriously?
He really is. Somebody was like, dude, I know he throws a lot of interceptions, but he actually is colorblind.
Well, so is Jack Nicklaus, so you can't hold that against the athlete, man. They find a way to get it done.
That's an incredible feat. Eddie Shannon, the old point guard for the Florida Gators, had one eye, and he played, and he was pretty solid for some of the good Gator teams in the late 90s. But not being able to see a jersey with that much pressure and the guys coming around, this is before 15 yards when you got hit, would be really bad. But for that reason, that's incredible that a guy, and he did throw a lot of picks, it makes sense, but to be able to make the NFL without being able to see color is pretty bad. But when it comes down to golf, let's talk some golf here, Adrian. Looking at the tournaments lately, Dustin Johnson seems to be rearing up to a whole new level. Just talk about the emotions and how hard it was, because we didn't get to talk last week. I know you're on the plane. Dustin Johnson versus John Rahm, and that tournament with Rahm and with Johnson, those putts. Talk about it, because I don't think people understand the difficulty and the level of difficulty it was of what they accomplished in the final couple holes of that playoff.
Well, that was something else. As a matter of fact, the last 6 weeks of golf, I just cannot imagine the roars if they had, if we weren't in this situation with crowds. It was fantastic, and there was a lot on the line, for DJ and for John Rahm. They're both chasing that number one title, and the fact that DJ was playing well and he didn't play poorly. He just got walked down, and he made a bomb to get in the playoff, and then somebody made a bomb to beat him in the playoff. So, that had to be a roller coaster kind of thing going forward. Dustin just really turned on the jets, though. At Eastlake, did a great job there, and I would imagine he seems to be a pretty cool customer, but that's got to bode well for his confidence going into the U.S. Open here in the next couple of weeks.
Speak with Adrian Stills of Osceola Golf Course. You can check him out each and every Thursday here, Tee It Up. Right now, Adrian, we live in a country that up in places like North Dakota, and they're getting storms where it is actually snowing. And actually, Denver at one point had 97-degree weather, and less than 48 hours later, they had 10 inches of snow and 28 degrees. But for us, it's starting to cool down a little. And what I mean cooling down is we are now at about 89, 90 degrees where you feel okay, like walking into a supermarket, that you're not going to sweat your tail off anymore. Talk about golf right now, because it's a good time to get out there after work where there's a little bit of a breeze and play some golf.
I am still at my office right now just because of that. Late golf lessons. I've got 5 high schools that practice here at Osceola Golf Course, 1 middle school. Their season has been condensed. They lost the first 2 or 3 weeks of their season, and heck, they've got districts coming up here pretty soon. That I think the district starts a high school golf October 14th. But it's a great time to get out. We're getting a lot of people coming out and utilizing the practice facility, even if the daylight hours are starting to get shorter. Again, we have an excellent practice facility, and right now under our mobile canopy, that 89 or that 80 degrees feels like 75 easily under that canopy. So, yeah, it's a great time to come out, and we are almost finished with our cart path construction. New pump station just got on board today, so looking forward to the next couple of weeks. Osceola is really changing for the better.
Adrian, when you look right now, what is one of the biggest things when the weather changes? There's a lot of things that I always thought were myths, but they're actually true. When people, even talking about when you have seasons changing and people's allergies or different things like that. After a rainstorm, things, mess with people getting headaches, those kind of things that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Are there any of those little, not myths because they're real, but those little things in golf that when the time changes or the season changes that we need to be aware of?
Well, yeah, we're losing 1 minute a day. So it doesn't get light as early, and, it's starting to look kind of dark by the time we get to, 7 o'clock or so. But you can still get out here after work and get in 9 holes. If you get here at 5:30, we don't need the carts until like 7:30. And with that being said, also, if you don't have time to play 9 holes, as I mentioned to you before, practicing this time of year, this is the best time to come out and practice. I've always enjoyed the fall weather. I guess you could call this fall, but fall in Pensacola might be the best time of the year. And even though fall really, in my mind's eye, won't start till the fair gets here, this is a great time for people to come out. You can enjoy a little bit of the remaining twilight hours that we have, and then the humidity's down a little bit. And as I mentioned before, practicing under that canopy is huge.
Adrian, I got to bring this up because this is more of a keeping it real kind of conversation because a lot of times you'll hear commercials on golf and rates, but I had a guy walk up to me and he said, I always wanted to get into golf, but I can't afford, $100 out there. And I said, what course are you playing? First off, you live in like a really nice gated community maybe, but you can get into rounds. Talk about that for the people out there listening because there are a lot of people that think it's too expensive to pick up the game of golf, where if you work with the right people, you can get a rental set, you can go ahead and get some used clubs, you could go out there. I know that you give advice on things that maybe a beginner that doesn't want to spend $700 for irons, but talk about to those kids out there and to the people because you can afford to play golf. And I did it my whole life, and I'm living, breathing proof that you can afford to play golf because I didn't have a huge bank account.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about golf, in particular public golf. Our facility has been here 93 years, and it's evolved so much now with the driving range and practice facility, yet still our rates are the lowest in town. You can play 18 holes of golf during our prime time for $32 out here. That's green fee and a cart for 18 holes.
Wow.
Or you can come out in the afternoon and play 9 holes with a cart for $17.54. Or you can come out and just whack some golf balls, 50 of them, for $6.99. So to say that it's not affordable, not anymore. Not what we've got going on now in the Pensacola, and in particular with Osceola Golf Course. We've made it very affordable. We've got plenty of donated clubs where, with our association with the First Tee chapter, when I got back to Pensacola 15 years ago, I put an ad in the paper for used golf clubs. We got 3,000 of them.
Wow.
So we can start you off with, not the world's best clubs, but definitely give you something to learn the game with, and you can get all the aspects you need to do or get better with the game. And it is quite affordable. Monthly memberships, twilight rates, across the board. A lot of the golf courses in Pensacola offer a very discounted rate after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which right now, after 4 o'clock, you got 3 hours before the sun goes down. So I encourage people to get out. It's, again, one of the best sports for social distancing, and then it's great for family members. No question about that.
Terry, Adrian, I try to take some questions. The guy I'm about to read his advice is named Terry. I just got the eyes. I know his name. My partner over here is acting like I don't know who you are. When it comes down, Terry from Pace asked the question about is there any type of actual protocol, just like if you have a really cool car, you should get premium gas. That's what we're told, compared to unleaded on everybody else. Does anybody? I guess you venture out into mid grades, but no car actually says that, does it? That you should take mid grades. I know we're getting to gas conversations, but when it comes down to playing from the right tees, Adrian, is there a perfect answer to your game? What tee box you should be playing from?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because one of the things
Terry asked it, but I yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So in other words, what you're telling me is you know a guy that asked this question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But seriously, the thing about it is I think people should start at the forward tees and progress back. Nothing gets you back at a sport or any activity more than when you have a good experience with it. So for you to come out to a course and jump on the back tees with the mindset that, hey, I'm going to play back here where the pros play, you're going to get disgusted. And then there's nothing good about that. It just puts too much added pressure on you to try to get better. So, yes, I strongly advise, and I see that even here at Osceola Golf Course. I mean, from the blue tees, we're only 6,400 from the back tees, but we're par 70s, so that equates more to about 6,600 or 6,700 yards. But I see people jumping back there all the time, and they can't break 100, and that's ridiculous. if you want to get better at the game, you got to realize you got to be able to score. And if you start playing from the correct tees, you'll have those short game shots more in your hand. You'll learn the scoring shots and scoring clubs. And then as you articulate from that set of tees to the back tees, because your scores are starting to get lower, you're going to develop the right way, where the person that only starts from the back tees and try to hit it as hard as they can all the time will never learn how to score. So I agree, or I would suggest that always play tees that are comfortable to your skill level all the time.
Another question coming in here. When you're on the green and maybe you go out there today and you play in a twosome or a foursome and you don't know the other guys, but when is the appropriate time to ask to tend the flag? Is there a certain distance for that on the green?
Well, first of all, in today's pandemic world, you don't touch the flag.
There you go.
Yeah. It's this day and age right now, most golf courses have the little floaties in the cups, and we have it staged in all of our golf carts and posted. Do not touch the flag stick. Putt with the flag stick in, and then you can pick the ball up out of the hole with those floaties in there without touching the flag. So if and when we ever get back to normal, whatever normal is going to be, you can ask people to tend the flag stick for you if we're not in pandemic times. Whenever you're on the green, you can do it actually if you're off the green. But definitely when you're on the green and you can't see the bottom of the cup, have somebody tend the flag stick for you. But, boy, I don't know when that time's going to come. I hope it comes soon.
This question, and we only have a little time here before the break, but I wanted to ask you this question. It's important. How important is it to clean your golf ball and clean your club when it comes to the creases in the club? Because I know some people that have had that for 10 years and they've never used a ball washer.
Yeah, it's for the average golfer, because the average golfer cannot break 100. 70% of them cannot. But for the average golfer, it makes a little bit of a difference. But as you progress in the skill level part, having clean grooves, especially on short finesse shots, is very important. If you know how to hit a wedge. The tour players these days, I was just out to a tour event a couple of weeks ago, and it's been ages since I played out there, but we used to get new sets, a couple sets of clubs a year. These guys get a new set of wedges every 2 weeks. And the reason for that is they hit so many range balls, and they want the grooves to be clean and sharp so that they can spin the ball. The average player doesn't have the skill set to make a big difference with that. But it is important for the average player to clean the golf ball, clean their clubs. It's important for them to clean their grips. It's very easy. Just wet a towel and wipe your grips down. You'll see an amazing difference in how you feel confidently wise if you do that before you play. But clean your golf balls and clean your clubs. Yeah, I highly suggest that.
There was about 15 jokes I wanted to make after that comment, but I will not. I will be appropriate. Look at that. Look at me. One time, I'm finally, look at me coming through. I was going to say something to JP on that, but looking right now.
It doesn't count if you make light of it, by
that's
the way.
true. That's true. I was going to, okay, then I'm just going to, people, make sure to wash your balls. It helps. But when it comes down to playing, Adrian, out there on the course, what is a good limit to where you should be improving your game? If you shoot in the 90s, what should you stride for? Trying to get 3 to 4 shots off your game. Is there a certain level you should try to look for when you're out there golfing?
Well, I promise you, if you are a 110 to 90 player, a 90 to 80 player, the quickest way to lower your score is to practice some shots from 40 yards in. Nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to hit the ball out there like DJ does. But if you're looking seriously to lower your score, very simply, I read an article when I was in high school, right after Jerry Pate won the U.S. Amateur and the U.S. Open, on how many putts he used to hit from 4 feet and 5 feet. And then so I was working at the time actually in Osceola Golf Course. I was 15 years old. I'd make myself hit 200 3-foot putts on the carpet every day when I was working. And then consequently, my score went down very quickly. So if you're thinking about truly lowering your score, take some lessons, get some practice time, go on YouTube, whatever you need to do on short game aspects from putting, chipping, and pitching. Put the effort in 60% of your practice time on those aspects, and you will find that your score will go down, I guarantee you, 3 to 7 shots within 6 months. If you diligently do that, it will happen.
He's Adrian Stills, Osceola Golf Course, teed up each and every week here on the Sports Drive with our local PGA pro. Great man, and go see him down there at the golf course. Weather's starting to cool down just a bit, and a perfect time to get out there and golf. Maybe even see some of the best in high school, college around the area. Adrian, it's always a pleasure, and looking forward to doing this next week, my friend.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. You guys stay safe and go golfing.
Absolutely. Hey, Adrian, thanks again, and we'll talk to you next week.
Roger that. Take care.
All right, appreciate it. Coming back for more Sports Drive on. What are you laughing about? I just did 2 sound offs for him, right?
You did.
I
back
did.
to back.
I realized that.
He handled it perfect.
Adrian,
by the way.
I know he did.
What a professional.
Adrian, if you're still on the line,
He's not.
Wish you the best here. Let's go to a break.
Go Blazers.
Go Blazers.
For summer DIY projects, you know the Home Depot's always in your corner. Now with our mobile app, it can also be in the palm of your hand. With digital tools like image search, snap a picture of something. It'll recognize it and serve up product suggestions in seconds. And our product locator will check availability and lead you right to it. The Home Depot mobile app. Download it today to get started. Only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
The Low Post Podcast with Zach Lowe.
I poked at Jeff Van Gundy about this once on a podcast. Everyone always uses the Warriors as proof that mid-range jumpers still have like an enormous utility in the playoffs. And actually, I do think they do. I think part of James Harden's continued cataclysmic struggles on offense in huge playoff games are because he refuses to shoot mid-range jumpers. So he's either taking step-back threes or he's driving into 4 people and trying to make impossible passes.
Check out the Low Post Podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. You know that you're getting serious as a bandwagon Gator fan. You had me on the point, like not to talk until that song was completely played out. Like usually you're like, come on, you even cue down the music, like fade it down, like if I'm not. But I'm over here texting Dennis Schroeder. It's great to see him, by the way. He was on our Zoom meetings again. He's one of the best guys ever. He works in the sales staff down here with Cat Country News Radio, ESPN, but one of the best human beings ever. And Dennis Schroeder was just texting us, who put together the deal with Osceola Golf Course and Adrian, and we all had lunch not too long ago. But I couldn't help it. You were notioning, you looking over here for me to make a joke about washing your balls on the golf course, and I just had to drop it. So you're welcome. You're welcome. I got that out.
Got a minute before we got to go here.
We're not
a break.
Okay. So. All right. Based on that, tonight, Houston, Kansas City. Is this?
Oh wait, I'm not playing this.
Upper echelon. Okay. Where do you rank this game as a top tier? Is this a top tier football game in the NFL these days?
Upper echelon.
Upper echelon.
I mean, because of what happened last year, it's gonna probably happen again. Not the big lead for Houston, but I mean, it's intriguing. Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, two very intriguing quarterbacks in the NFL. Everybody wants to see the Kansas City Chiefs. I think some people, like myself, want to see what the Texans are going to look like.
I could see a letdown from the defense, because the defense can for Kansas City. I know Fred Robbins' guy, Spags, good old Steve Spagnuolo, who was his coordinator when he won a Super Bowl. Love Fred, hate that Super Bowl. But when the Giants won with Spagnuolo, when they beat the Pats in that perfect season, so he was out there last year watching it with us. Remember, we were watching the Super Bowl, and he rooting on Spags over at World of Beer for the event. But I can see the defense allowing some points.
Yeah.
But I can't see Patrick Mahomes having a letdown.
I think everybody knows that defense can allow points, and they probably will this season. But it's about that offense. Good luck. Good luck trying to keep up with that speed. Clyde Edwards-Helaire tonight. Let's go, baby.
You just took my comment and you made it like it was the most obvious statement in the history of statements. Thank you.
I don't know what.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
There you go.
Go Blazers.
There you go. Go Blazers.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K. Sports Drive with Chad Brillante and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up on the Sports Drive, well, we'll get into some college football talk. The big boys are playing, and we'll get to more on what's going on in the NFL. Look, politics, everything aside, I understand, but I'm still excited because football is going to be playing, and it gives me excuse to get out a lot of chores.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin, shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin. Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl. Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. Both been beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 for Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold. Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trick Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome back to the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, simulcast each every day here on Blab TV. Chad Brillante with you on the other side. It is joining us now today. We will be our Florida State update right here each and every day from the Gibson and Jarvis law firm. John Jarvis joins us here. John, it's first off, it's great to see you, and it's extra great to see you because you brought me a lightweight fishing shirt.
That's right.
You come before the shirt, but I'm just saying this is really cool.
Those are nice.
They are nice, too, the material. I feel like if you're going down that path today and you're going to get some shirts, like if we could go back to a world where it's all dry fit, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's perfect for the beach, going fishing and all that. You're going to protect yourself. We love our shirts.
I was on a softball team not too long ago that they went with the real thick cotton, and I looked at the guy and I was like, Come on, bro. Like, we would have all forked up the extra $4 or $5 to not sweat through these things. Yeah, looking like that kid from the Christmas movie, not walking with the. But when it comes down to Florida State football, let's talk a little bit about it because we're not going to pull a 3 years ago Willie Taggart, where I sat there listening to him and Gene Deckerhoff at the Pensacola Yacht Club, and so many people were excited.
There.
Yeah, and so many Florida State fans were excited because this was a guy that obviously had talent. He was, a guy that was a motivator, but he never had a track record at the biggest level. He was at Oregon, Western Kentucky, at USF. Florida State's a different breed, and he goes in there. And remember, one thing more important than anything today in college, in classrooms, in law, you have to have a good rapport. You can't, if your team doesn't believe in you or you don't have all of their attention, they're never going to respect you, and it ends up being a situation where it's clear and evident. And the one thing with Florida State, it was like they were it was like they were hanging out, but there was no discipline. And ultimately it led to their demise. I don't think Norvell's going to take any of that, and I'm excited to see their game coming up here on a good one against Georgia Tech. Good one to start, I guess, on Saturday.
I agree. I do want to address the Willie Taggart thing because I think he inherited a mess. And I want to defend him a little bit on that. I don't know whether he would have ever turned it around or not, but he did inherit a mess. And so I wish him well, down the road. But that team that he inherited was not good. It was not disciplined. And I do believe that what you said about Norvell, of course, we have high hopes. And I do believe that he has instilled we haven't seen any product on the field yet until Saturday. But I do believe that things are going to change out there as far as discipline and penalties. I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see what the product brings.
John, your job has been one. I talked to Terrence coming up here when he does the Tomahawk Talk Show. I know you guys are friends. We share stories of our fishing stories and things like that. More you guys, and I once in a while get one picture. I was real excited about my red snapper pics. Thank God they were in season when I sent them. But when it comes down to talking about football, we've always chatted off the air. Looking at this season, your expectations for the season, and also you can say how it is. I think I'm very disappointed for the overall college football that we're not having our Power Five. I feel bad. We have a lot of Joe Ford guys like Jeremy Nessler, huge Ohio State fans, and
I'm surprised we're having football at all. I really am. I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, it already has kicked off a little bit.
But you believe we should have football, correct?
I do.
Okay.
I do. And I really didn't believe that we would have ACC football, SEC football. I know they're a little bit more ingrained down here, but the Big Ten and the Pac-10 bowed out, and for good reasons. But I'm glad we're going to have football. I'm excited about that. We need to try to bring our lives back to a little bit of normalcy. I hope that we can pull it off. I really do. I hope that we don't have any kids that get hurt or injured as a result of anything that might be COVID related. And I think they've done a real good job of trying to police that.
And I'm trying to take some optimism. Today's been a good day in general for me, which you don't have a lot in 2020. So I'm loving it. But and then you bring me a shirt, and I'm like, okay,
things are looking up.
This is looking real. I'm gonna go get a scratch off after this. But when it comes down to sports, if you're a true sports fan, now a lot of people today
kicking off the NFL tonight.
Kicking off the NFL, college football. You've got Miami. It's the first Power 5 conference team playing against UAB, but still, it's college football. It's a team that
I'm glad UAB's got their program back.
Absolutely.
Again.
Bill Clark's a great coach too. You look at that, and then you've got the NBA playoffs. Whether you're an NBA fan or not, you've got the NBA playoffs. You've got Major League Baseball. You've got the Braves scored 29 runs yesterday.
I loved it. That was probably my first foray back in the natural. I loved watching the baseball, seeing the teams play out. There are no fans, but I loved seeing the baseball. It was finally I got to see some real sports. That was my first real sports since all this stuff happened.
It is one of these kind of days where You have, and U.S. Open tennis. Tennis used to be more popular during the McEnroe Connors and even before that, the Arthur Ashe. But still,
but when you're
Serena
hitting
Williams
linesman in the throat, that's a little exciting.
Okay, were you just like me? I felt I felt a little remorse, but what I kept picturing was if the fans were in the stands for that, more than likely you would have had a lady getting literally choked up, but she was getting taken off, looking hurt, and people would have probably started booing her because people would have spent a lot of money to go see Djokovic, and those $200-$300 tickets would have been wiped out in the first set because this lady got hit in the neck by a ball.
And I'll be honest, when I first heard about it, I was thinking that if he hit that thing out of anger, it was going to be going at 100 miles an hour. And I wasn't the one that got hit, but he didn't hit it that hard.
No, and it hit the two spots. She's a female, so the one spot, but it hit her in the neck.
Right.
But for us, it could have hit two spots, one main, and those are the only spots that it really would have been like everybody would have been like, ooh. Yeah. Anywhere else, you'd be like, come on. Because as a baseball player, you take shots. I was a pitcher, and, you take some shots. We got my legs 5 or 6 times, balls come back at you, and a tennis ball can hurt, but not to the severity.
And again, he hit it out of frustration, but he didn't cream it like he could have. But we better get back on point.
No. That's not how the show works. We never get back on point. But no, but based on that, there's you've got that. Then you've got the NHL. Vegas is taking on. I love watching the NHL. So there's so many good sports all at once, and no other years had that because right now the NHL playoffs would have been over 3 months ago. The NBA playoffs would have been over 4 months ago. You would have baseball would be almost into the playoffs, but most of the teams were eliminated.
I hadn't really thought about that, Chad, but we kind of all aligned
at one time.
Yeah, never happened.
We never will see basically 3 playoffs, including the WNBA. You get the U.S. Open. Yeah, I just threw that in there. And then you've got everything going on. And not only that, golf at this time
is
usually starting to fade. We've got the Masters coming up next month. That's what I'm saying is that's why it's like almost
we just
like
had the Kentucky Derby.
Somebody up there, God's up there saying, you know what, guys, which he does not care about sports in the United States, I'm sure, taking care
or
care
anywhere
of
for
exactly.
that matter.
I don't think that if they're up there, hey, I'm going to have a lot more fun in heaven if that's the case, if that's where I'm going. But when it comes down to everything going on with sports, I'm trying to take a positive, but if you're a true sports fan and you go out, we're going to go to like Beef O'Brady's after tonight to watch, and there's going to be like 7 or 8 TVs going on. You're going to get all that at once. So pretty exciting as a fan. Pretty cool.
Yep.
College football this year, looking at the teams, is it an obvious choice with LSU, or not LSU, Alabama and Clemson, or
I think that's the obvious choices. I think that LSU is the team that I think everybody is discounting because they lost everybody. Mm-hmm. But just like FSU in the old days, I think that they're going to reload.
Yeah.
Like FSU used to reload. But no, Alabama and Clemson are probably the front runners, especially with nobody else out on the horizon. I think they're clear front runners.
What about looking at the ACC now that you have Notre Dame? Do you still see Jeff Wayne's walked by earlier, Notre Dame guy? When it comes down to Notre Dame, is it like, hey, we don't mind you joining us today like a substitute teacher, or is he part of the group?
Well, I think there was an opportunity missed here.
Okay.
You could have strong-armed them into saying, okay, if we're going to take you into our league.
We get your NBC money too?
No, we get we should get you for the full time, not just 1 year and done. You're in the ACC for football, basketball, and everything, or you're not. I think you could have strong.
I think you would be seeing them sitting at home this year if that was the case.
Well, I've heard that, and people have said that because that NBC contract is worth a lot. But I guess they're in for at least this year.
They sort of – the thing is, that's one of those – unless you know the money and the dollars and think outside the box, they're already playing an AC schedule.
Exactly.
They changed it. They don't play all those games they used to against the Northwesterns and the Michigan States and the Michigans. So it's a little different. Speaking of playing out-of-conference games, we already know that, as a Florida State fan, you might have a bad year, but if you can beat Florida, you go to the office. It's so big. Not to have that game. Even the governor, I don't like government stepping in on sports. Arlen Specter, I was trying
You're supposed to play it.
Yeah.
legislatively.
That's what I'm saying.
Play it,
but they're not this year. But it's not just you guys. Georgia Tech won't play Georgia. Louisville won't play Kentucky. And Clemson won't play South Carolina. Now, out of the 4, this is the biggest one. But talk about, there's really nothing they can do, I guess. I mean, that's...
No, not under these circumstances. But yeah, I'm going to miss that. I'm really going to miss that. That's the big game. That's the one that matters, especially when if you're not as good as you should be or what you think you are, that's the game that counts after that.
Speaking with John Jarvis of the Gibson and Jarvis Law Firm, they'll be the proud sponsors here for the Florida State Update each and every day. And look, I'm excited to get to talk Florida State football, not just because it truly is the closest team to us when you talk about a Power 5 team. You've got South Alabama, who great showing in their first game. They got that win against Southern Miss. But talking about teams like UWF and how, I mean, you can't be more proud than what Pete Shinnick's done.
Sure, they've done great.
2 national title games, 1 national title in just 4 years.
Made Pensacola very proud.
Incredible, incredible. And it's something where it's only going to get better. And usually people like Pete Shinnick, I think President Saunders one time gave me those eyes like across the room, and you can get that like, hey, this guy needs to quit asking the questions like, Pete, we know you're great, but is there a step like? And I know that. I mean,
but the media has to.
But I have to ask that, and I do it in a kind way. I'm always saying, look, I'm going to go here not just because it's Bright Futures, but I want Leighton to be here. So I want my daughter to grow up and be a UWF Argonaut. I'm at every game there. We cover them. That's our team. So here on ESPN Pensacola, and Blab TV covers the games as well. So everybody that looks at this and says, you know what, I look at this and say, I'm a UWF Argonaut fan now. I win my fake national titles with UCF up there, but UWF, I think we all have a secondary team now.
Sure. Well, when you live in this area, you have to adopt them.
How many years have you been in this area?
Oh,
sorry, and you're like
further, probably longer than you've been on the planet.
I've aged like Benjamin Button this year, so I don't know. I feel very old, but I look at it as UWF is going to have a lot of success, but Pete Shinnick's a rare kind of good human where I think people even UWF people should be understanding that if he end up leaving, it's because, I mean, when you're making $220-something, if a law firm called you in New York and they said, hey, we want to make you a partner at the 86th story where you have to use the key fob to get in there, you're not going? No?
Hey, I'm all about area.
Oh, okay, well, all right. See,
quality of life.
We got the Pete Shinnick Flaw, folks. Look at that.
Quality of life.
You already brought me a T-shirt. I'm on your side. So.
Oh, I live in paradise. I don't want to go up there and live.
You've never brought a judge one of these, have you?
Oh, you can't. You can't do that.
Here you go, real quick before we get things going.
You can't do that.
That's why I couldn't make a lawyer. They'd be like, Chad, you've broke 15 rules. You're going to be disbarred before you've walked into the courtroom. I'm handing out T-shirts to the juror right there. So we'll keep the law part to you.
Let's herd back around the FSU football.
Let's go that. FSU football, when it comes down to them playing this season. Now, the ACC predicted them to be 7th. That doesn't mean it's not as bad. That sounds horrible on the surface. But
I think we're going to be under the radar. I think everybody's underestimating us. I really believe that we'll be 7-4, 8-3, something along those lines.
I think that's fair, yeah.
Which would be a good season. We're still unknown about the offensive line. Even at quarterback, I mean, this will be Blackman. Now, he's been there 3 years, but he really, 3 or 4 different offensive coordinators.
Yeah, 4 different offenses.
Right.
But yeah, that's.
So I don't know. I have high hopes that things are going to be better there, but on defense is where I think we'll be strong.
John, you look at the schedule this year. You know, you've got teams, Georgia Tech, to go through the schedule. Georgia Tech, that should be a win.
Should be.
Miami, I think we're going to find out a lot tonight. A lot of Florida State fans watching that game to see.
I always think we're going to beat Miami.
As you should. Jacksonville State should win that. Notre Dame, that's I know they're marking as a loss, but still that's going to be. We'll see. By then we'll know a lot more about this team. If they're 3-0 going in, if they're sitting at 2-1 or 1-2, completely different. If they go 3-0, which is very doable, beating Miami, Georgia Tech, Jacksonville State, they have that confidence. But the game is in Notre Dame.
That's going to hurt.
It is, and I think you're going to see more crowd. As the season progresses. They'll sprinkle it in a little more. Most fan bases are thinking right now about 20%, which will be around the average of 15 to 20,000 people in the stands.
And that's what they're going to have Saturday. They said 20,000. So.
And it's doable. I've watched some sporting events where you're just, I mean, those stadiums are so big. It looks, you know what it looks like? It looks like a MAC football game on TV. But you know, you're seeing them and all those open seats. The one thing is, it is definitely doable. You just, like anything, you respect people.
Right.
If somebody else is leaving to go to the bathroom, you don't get up at the same time with that person 30 seats empty away from you. You let them go. And that
I don't know how they're going to do it.
We'll see.
I'm sure they got a system.
Glad I'm not an usher in that
right.
one. Looking at the next game, North Carolina. This is a big game right now. Mac Brown has them in the right direction. So currently, based on assumption of the spreads and what they're doing, they should be sitting at either 2-2 or 3-1 based on that Miami game going in here. North Carolina at home. This is a very big game. Sam Howell, Mac Brown's got a good squad this year.
You know, he was supposed to be a Knoll, of course. Yeah, Sam Howell was slated to become a Knoll at the time, and then somehow in all the coaching shuffling around, we lost him.
And there was
when Mac Brown came aboard, he basically stole him from us.
There were a lot of quarterbacks for Florida State that did not live up to the hype, but it was also a lot of development and a lot of, when Jimbo Fisher left. But you had to remember Malik Henry, DeAndre Francois, DeAndre Johnson. There was a group of those quarterbacks, those athletic dual threat guys, that none of them end up, half of them getting kicked off the team.
Francois got hurt, and then there was the incidents with DV, but that basically got dropped.
Yeah.
But anyway, they had to get rid of him. Unfortunately.
And then Malik Henry before that too.
He was trouble.
That's what I'm saying. But trouble is one of those kind of words with the right discipline. You know, not everything's a movie with like Denzel Washington and getting kids together, but with the right coaches, you can change a lot of that.
Sure.
And it was tough at that time.
Well, during the Bowden years, you always had the quarterback, and you had the quarterback in waiting. And I mean, it just happened every year, just like clockwork. But we've lost that over the years. We really lost that. We need to get some continuity back.
Who was your favorite Florida State quarterback ever?
Charlie
Ward.
Charlie Ward. Charlie, he's by far the best and favorite.
Who is now? I'm not a big fan of him as a ESPN anchor because I think he's very biased, and it shows.
Riggs?
No, Danny Cannell. But
I like Cannell.
Well, see, because you're an ACC guy, and I'm not saying. Look,
and he was a good quarterback.
Yeah. But I feel like he has a voice. I feel like he's in like the movie 300 where he knows he's being attacked by more people and he has to be a voice for the ACC. Have you noticed that?
I agree.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's an ACC homer.
But that's okay to have.
But so I think about all the SEC homers. There's a ton of them.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he has to. He does that, but it's sort of like Stephen A. Smith. I did a show with Stephen A. Smith when he was down here, and Stephen A. he's not as loud and boisterous as he don't walk up to you and be like John. You know, he's more like very calm, polite. It's his
personality. On TV.
Sadly, you've had phone conversations with me. I'm the same guy here as I am on the phone.
Are.
You're like, I've been on the phone 50 minutes with this guy.
What you see and hear here that's what you get.
I don't know if that's a compliment, but
it is.
But we're always the same people, and same with JP, my co-host. But there are some people. I feel like Cannell wakes up and he says, "I have to go to bat for the ACC." But he does a good job of that.
I think he wears it pretty good.
What about naming some of the greats? Casey Weldon.
Love Casey Weldon. He was one of the best, one of the greatest.
Non-quarterbacks, you obviously got Derek Brooks, Warwick Dunn.
We could.
I mean,
we need a 3-hour show.
I'm saying everybody's got their favorite guy. Like we had Josh Sitton was in class with me when UCF was there. He didn't really know it at the time. He actually went to school with my wife Brittany at Catholic when they were here, and we met one time at gallery night. And he walks up and I'm like, Josh, I don't think. And he's like, Brittany, and I'm like, wait a second, but they've been friends for a while. Their families are friends, But he sat by me in class, and this was a 6'3", 330-pound guy. He had a mohawk and a Guy Harvey, medium shirt, this huge guy right here. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just as, making jokes as always, and I'm with the, quote, baseball team, but I'm the guy in the corner that they're not shaking hands. They got Brandon Marshall in that class, the star receiver. You had Kevin Smith, who went on the NFL as a running back for the Lions. Matt Prater, who's the kicker.
I thought this was the FSU show.
Listen, this is not an FSU show. You get your update. Hey, you now have to listen to my boasting about this. No, you have to sit here and hear some of the UCF talk. But when it comes down to it, that was like our group.
Oh, that was it.
But I just named every hero outside of Dante Culpepper. You guys,
I got
so many. So
I got a thing going on with my FSU thread buddies where we started at number 1, and we use who was your favorite number 1, who was your favorite number 2 by numbers, by their uniforms, and we just been reliving our number 1s, number 2s, number 3, and of course Wednesday was 17, and everybody said, well, that's Charlie, Charlie Ward, which is great. He's on some of our threads with Terry and I too. He's
such a nice guy.
The greatest human being.
He is.
The most down-to-earth, humble superstar I've ever met in my life. That Heisman Trophy, national championship, New York Knicks pro basketball player, and you wouldn't know it to see him. Or if he was just sitting at a table with you, you wouldn't know it.
Well, you wouldn't even know it either by
unless you recognize it.
Yeah, the two biggest positions to be in sports, to be the field general, the manager, a point guard in basketball, and a quarterback in football. And quarterback outranks everything by far. I mean, there's not a more important position in any sport than a quarterback. And
perhaps you recall this, but when he was up in New York with the Knicks, the running joke up there was the best quarterback in New York plays for the Knicks.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
The Giants and Jets.
He's still, if he went back there for like one of those like pictures with the old Knicks team, he still might be the best quarterback in New York with Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones right now. I don't know. It's been a long ride for them as a Bostonian. I embrace that. Yeah.
Right.
I can see Fred Robbins all the time with that ring, and Fred's one of the nicest guys in the world. But him and Tia do so much with the community, Mr. Robbins' neighborhood, but he always has that huge ring. It's a huge ring on a huge guy, and he sits there. And I'm not gonna lie, I look at it and I'm like, Fred, man, I can't look at that.
The one that got away.
That was the. There are some championships, and then there's the championship. Meaning, like when you guys beat Michael Vick and were able, that's a good championship. That was a great championship. But beating a team like Florida and going on to win a national championship, that meant more. It means more. It just
the national championship game was won in Gainesville.
It was
in 1993 when Charlie Ward got out of trouble, hit his roommate, Warwick Dunn, who streaked down the sidelines for the touch. That silenced the crowd, put us in the national championship.
But that's always going to be a bigger game, even though they're both titles.
Exactly.
Same thing with that. The Patriots had all these rings. This was the game, Randy Moss, the perfect season. It would have gone down. It would stop Mercury Morris and the 72 Dolphins from dancing on TV all the time. Like, this was finally the moment they were going to have a perfect season. And they were a 12.5-point favorite. Like, I was in college, too, so I might have had a couple cocktails. I'm watching that game, and to lose to them, and Fred played a huge part. Defensive tackle, that defensive line got to Brady, and the Tyree catch, too, how it went down, how they lost.
Well, that'll go on in history. It's one of the greatest catches.
Just getting upset. It was a good day.
How about Eli Manning, 2-0 versus Brady?
I know. How about that conversation? How about sitting around the dinner table though, and you talk to
Peyton?
You're talking with Peyton Manning. You're talking with and Archie Manning.
Right.
And you go until he won in Denver. You go, guys. You know I have more rings than you guys have combined. You go, all right, let's take them. Cooper comes over, like, we're all better than you. Let's go outside real quick.
But then everybody's talking about Brady being the best, the greatest of all time. Well, I was 2-0 Super Bowl.
Well, John, before we let you go, half hour goes by quick.
It does fly by.
But I want to talk a little bit about what you guys are doing. I know it's a different world we live in right now in law, but for people to reach out to you guys and what you're doing.
Well, we're open for business, and we're in Pace, but we practice law in Santa Rosa, Escambia, and Okaloosa, or anywhere in the Northwest Florida area. We do all kinds of law, personal injury, wrongful death, family law, criminal defense, and bankruptcy. So we're there for all your legal needs.
And one final prediction on Florida State. Do they do
a
we
win?
See
we
a
win.
Win? Week
win.
1 against Georgia Tech?
I can't put up numbers for you, but I think we're double-digit favorites.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know about
I think it's
that.
like 13.
I don't. If you're
no triple option anymore
for
Georgia Tech.
If you're a wagering man out there, you might take Georgia Tech in the points. You know?
I would never wink. No, but today I told you I feel lucky. I'm probably gonna. Brittany's like, don't just.
Well, I don't know. If I had to put money on it, I don't know which way I would go on that.
I don't know anymore. College football, especially coming in the first game from COVID.
I don't know what product we're gonna put on the field.
I think there's gonna be a lot of people going, wow, I can see that because it's 2020, where it's like something happens this year. But Tonight, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes.
That's going to be another one. But I don't know football-wise. You would think Kansas City's, the team to beat, and they are. But I don't know what kind of practices they've had, and where are they? Is it going to be like the first, preseason game almost?
And when you come off a title, you can say what you want, but it's an emotional game, and you got to be mentally prepared. I think Mahomes will be, but I mean, these guys, Andy Reid for 2 decades never won a title, and he finally got one. I'm sure he had a couple more parties.
He had the right parts.
Yeah, exactly. A couple more double cheeses. It was good catching up. I'm looking forward to doing this every week and talking Florida State football with you, John.
Can't wait.
Love it. When we come back next week, we'll get to actually break down a game.
Yes.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Yes.
John, thank you for the fishing shirt.
Yep.
This is awesome right here. And
you're welcome to show that logo.
Yeah. People are like, I don't only be kind to people that bring me. That's really cool. We'll make sure to get a zoom in on this here,
right.
With the decor right there. But the Gibson and Jarvis Law Firm right here. Call John and the guys today. The number again?
995-8885.
There you go. John, looking forward to it, and go Noles.
Thanks.
All right, we'll come back for more. It's the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh, dilly dilly.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
What? What about our plan to win the lottery and start living? Travel the world on matching yachts, wear enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacation on the French Riviera, and then buy it.
You know we're never going to win the lottery, right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Florida Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
For your ridiculous facts, I'm JP. Greg Maddux faced 20,421 batters in his career, and of those 20,000, only 310 of them went to a 3-0 count. 177 of those were intentional walks. And in 1998, Miami of Ohio running back Travis Prentice set the NCAA FBS record for the most consecutive rushes without losing a fumble. He carried the ball 365 times for over 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns. He also holds the career record at 862 carries without a fumble. That's your ridiculous facts. I'm JP.
Here are the ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM contest rules. You can win one prize per household per contest in any 30-day period, unless specified by individual contest rules. All prizes are non-transferable, non-redeemable for cash, or exchangeable for any other contest prize. Prizes must be redeemed within a 30-day period of winning and must be 18 years of age or older to win. For a complete list of rules, visit ESPNpensacola.com.
JP here. Everyone here at ESPN Pensacola wants to send a shout out to our first responders and healthcare workers at this time. We know it's tough, but we appreciate the work you put day in and day out. We also want to thank our essential workers out there for helping all of us continue to live our lives as normal as possible in this time. For our community, keep rocking it. We are going to get through this. Remember, we were named the #1 strong town in America. That wasn't by accident. We have seen so many people step up and do their part, and we thank all those people for their efforts. We will be stronger for this, and together, we will beat COVID-19.
Chad Brilliante here with the Sports Drive, checking in on the AP Top 25 preseason poll in college football. The Clemson Tigers opened the season at #1, followed by Ohio State at 2 and Alabama at 3. 7 teams out of the SEC made the top 25, and 4 in the top 10, with Alabama 3, Georgia 4, LSU 6, and Florida number 8. 9 teams out of the Big Ten and Pac-12 made it, but only for the preseason, without playing in 2020. And FSU still a little work to go, with 6 top 25 votes.
We do sports, and that's all we do. We're your hometown sports station, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Little LSU fight song. You got a roll out neck right there. the appropriate version if you're gonna.
Nope.
No.
Because there's no true appropriate version. It's either neck or it's nothing.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, that's Have you ever seen a Mardi Gras when they get everyone doing it? No drunks out there. Everybody sober singing it. All
Sure.
clean version out there.
Yeah, heard that before. That's just rumors.
It is fun. And then there's the song Blank I'm in Louisiana, which is, we call it That Boot. Apparently you got to click the right version, though. Go right into something. That Leighton goes, what's that word, Daddy? I said, you already know it. Don't try to act all coy on us. You've heard your pops. She knows more than me already. I mean, you know that. But looking right now at the Atlanta Braves, well, middle of the fourth, they're slowing down progression today. They're on pace to give the same amount of runs that they allowed last week. I mean, in yesterday's game with 9. But they're down 5-2 in the fourth. Big letdown after 29 runs yesterday.
That's usually how it goes.
That's ridiculous. Adam Duvall. We had this exact conversation about Alex Dickerson and talking about how a guy can have pretty much his stats for the year in one game. Duvall in 2 games in the last week has had, 6 home runs and like 15 RBIs? I think he's had 6 home runs and 15 or 16 RBIs in 2 games. Like, it's already putting you up there with the numbers this year in a shortened season. I don't know. Who do you think? Is there anything changed because their pitching staff's still hideous? I mean, let's also acknowledge Tommy Malone and some of these guys are still out there. I think they started Tommy Malone today. I don't know. Whoever they started, they were already down. No, Robbie Erlin. You want to give this ditty right here? 1.2 innings pitched, so 1 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. Oh, you know what? Let's give it up for him. No walks. Ho, 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 ho.
Maybe he needs to walk some more people.
Yeah, I was going to say. Look at that. That's where you take the real optimism. Robbie, did you have your best stuff? Well, I was out there for a couple hours. No walks. Son, you got through 1 2/3. You allowed 6 runs.
Maybe you should have been a little more erratic.
No walks on this. No.
Those are the worst pitchers, the ones that are erratic, because you have no idea. Good luck.
Right now, their pitcher is Huascar. Huascar, out there. Looking at tonight's game, we're right down.
You're such a pro at pronunciations on names.
Huascar,
You look at it and
sounds like a Street Fighter guy.
I can tell when you look at your computer in your eyes, like you're saying it in your head, like testing it out. You're like, yep, that's the one.
Okay. Yesterday, once again, I was probably one of 5 people, me and Greg Litton, Greg Litton and I, for those that were watching the San Francisco versus Seattle Mariner game at midnight last night. But you get 4 boxes, so why not take advantage of them? So I'm watching all 4 games.
You're going to be up to 4
why not?
Anyway.
I'm watching those late nights. Actually, yesterday they had the smoke that went over from the fires. In all seriousness, the wildfires going over, and it got so smoky you could
apocalyptic.
It's terrible.
It's crazy looking.
Yeah, what I have noticed more than anything in the last 7 to 8 days is that when sports are in their prime, which right now we were just talking to John about that, and thanks again to John Jarvis of the Gibson and Jarvis Law Firm. Right there will be our Florida State update each and every day here on the show. But when it comes down to sports, we are actually in the best time of sports that we've there's still a lot of questions, but we've never been in a time period where you have the NBA playoffs down to the conference finals. The NHL playoffs is in its conference finals. The NFL begins tonight. College football Power 5 begins tonight. You've got games this weekend. You've got high school football beginning next week. It's already begun. And good news, by the way, over 1,000 schools have played around the country and no real COVID outbreak. So, good for the kids and good. I don't know the exact scientific data on that, but it's good to see that they're still playing.
It's the community outbreaks to see how these kids do and going out.
No, but it's great. What we do know is we said from day one, unless you have never been around sports or accountability.
What is day one?
What do you mean?
What day is day one?
For us, what was it? 3 years ago? Is that reunion? From day one here, dating back.
You know how everybody says from day one. I say the same thing, and it's when is day one? When did this start? What is considered day one?
Okay, when somebody says that's how the cookie crumbles, first off, my cookie crumbles on me. I'm pissed. I want to get a new cookie.
I want a soft cookie.
If my cookie is crumbling while I'm trying to eat it, I usually do it in the car. I'd be really upset. So all those years, one of our favorite journalists and news anchors is just completely roasting us.
There you go.
You want to get technical on that? It's raining cats and dogs. That would break so many old people's necks.
That's animal cruelty.
Might claw you. Imagine a full tabby cat coming at you from over 500
They're landing
feet.
on their feet.
If that thing's not declawed, your face is literally ripped open.
Do you see that you can drop squirrels?
It's raining cats and dogs. What you're really saying is everybody's going to be murdered in the country. If that's
you can drop squirrels from like 20,000 feet and they won't die. Do you see that, by the way?
Based on my backyard and what I cleaned up, that can't be accurate unless the hawk got it. Because I watched it drop from like 20 feet from. Really though? I mean, I believe I've seen the videos of squirrels on like MLB games where it jumps from like 30 feet the net. That Phillies game.
This test, which first off, how do you test this?
Well, what sick human being first was like, we're going to drop a squirrel out of a plane from 40,000 feet?
Well, this is overseas. This is one of the universities over there that was showing that because of the way their body is built, when they fall, the way they spread out, whatever, they almost become like a flying squirrel. It's almost like a parachute.
I'm getting the word here. Somebody just texted in, don't worry, the squirrel was wearing a mask. He's okay. Okay, continue.
Well, that's good.
There you go.
Then never mind. And this is all irrelevant.
He said, "Don't worry, he's fine." But okay, so when it comes down to college football,
was that where we were going with this?
You stopped me on from day one here.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, I'm just throwing this out there. Like people say, look, I've said this from day one. When is day one? Like,
it's just
have you ever had anybody ask you? Have you ever had anybody ask you?
If I meet you, and we all know our things. Everybody has something that they say, and they use it a lot. They come back to it.
But have you ever had anybody ask you, well, when is day one? I haven't. That's my point. Like,
No, I have not.
It's just, I mean, that's how the cookie crumbles. Well, when did the cookie crumble?
Listen, none of that.
When did you have a cookie that crumbled? How mad were you? Like, let's talk about that.
Before it starts raining cats and dogs, let's go ahead
and squirrels.
So it's the best time. Well, I mean, there really isn't. If you're a true sports fan, there's not a better time than what we're seeing here. But that game last night, you were talking about the names. And Marmaleos or whatever, the guy in the – I even said whatever to his name. But that's what a great way. This is families out there listening, like how dare you, especially a name like Brillante. But Marmaleos is in left field, and the guy completely did not care. It was getting late. I think he had a late day, and he just completely butchered the whole name and did not care. Like he didn't try to come back, but he was like, Marjabulus. And then the other guy's like, Marmaleos with the double? And he was like, yeah, whatever. I said it right, marshmallow. Like, this guy just crushed his name, and I was like, whoa, that was very insulting right there. But needed to share that.
Can we touch base on this Daniel House issue?
Don't touch me, but yes. Okay, yeah.
The NBA pro.
Let's just base on this. Okay.
For a potential violation of the bubble protocol. Did you hear about that? He brought one of the testing, the people that test them for COVID, brought one of the women into his hotel room. So he violated the protocol.
Whoa.
Wait. He violated the protocol.
Violated the protocol.
The protocol,
okay.
Yes.
You paused there like Shatner.
Yes.
I was like, wow, this is...
So he violated the protocol because he brought someone into his room. But I'm curious. Now, all the jokes aside of him bringing one, I'm not going to get into that. What I'm questioning here is, so the NBA did an investigation. They found this out. But she's testing. And so if she's not leaving because she's testing, she's one of these people doing this, she's on that testing force they have. Is that violation?
I don't know. What is this where is this a sleazeball move, or is this being, hey, I'm doing it for my team and for my country, for the country, nobody cares, but from my team. Imagine this moment. You're
bringing this woman to my room for this
you're pretty much in front. Yeah, you're no. Here, no. Let me explain. So you got the lady in there. You're caught red-handed, but they're coming in, like that movie where the guy just grabs the gun, like what's the movie American Gangster, where they're all coming and they know they're coming to the house. So the guy's like in the back with the umbrella. Lady's out in the back. She's out vacuuming and they know. So
I just realized we're a whole break behind.
I know that. It's important though. This is important for movies. American Gangster we're talking about.
Gotcha.
So they go ahead and those, like you're caught, there's nowhere to go. We all seen those movies. The guy's just like, he ends it. Imagine you knew they're coming in for like the COVID, like, uh-oh. You go ahead and propose right there, saying, hey, how dare you treat my wife like this, which is 100% legal and binding to be in there. And then you get to continue to play. And guys just get a quick divorce when you're done with your 7-game series.
And then she takes you for half.
Well, yeah, she
takes half your worth.
Maybe this isn't Elvis, but hey, you're going to lose half your worth if you don't finish the season, and you're going to be kicked out of the bubble and let your team down. It's your call. Get those papers. Get them signed.
She's going to take your house. I don't know. I'm not going to agree with what you just said.
I'm just seeing some escort. He's sitting there, and she's like, "Yeah, what do you want? What's your real name? Here, quick. Is it not Cinnamon? Just sign the papers." Hey, look, he's coming in. Is that bond? The whole thing's hogwash that the coaches can't bring in their wives. Like, how horrible is that?
But he brought a testing woman to his hotel room. Like, there's nobody better.
What a terrible. If people didn't understand what you meant by that, that sounded so rude to women.
Well, it's COVID time, so you don't have to explain yourself.
They brought
anymore.
A testing woman. What is? I know what you meant, though. Let's go ahead. We have to take a break.
Yes, we do.
Testing women. Go Gators.
Go Blazes. JP here. At ESPN Pensacola, we are hometown proud. Like the greatest pound-for-pound boxer of all time, Roy Jones Jr.
3-time light heavyweight world champion and former heavyweight champion of the world, future Hall of Fame legend, Roy Jones Jr.
What up? It's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and you're listening to ESPN Pensacola.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen. With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom. Oh, dilly dilly.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Davis Allen from Sports Call with Davis and Justin. You're listening to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
All right.
It was worth it.
I was going to say.
That was worth it.
Yes, it was. Well,
but you kept waiting and waiting and waiting.
It is if you're sitting at home getting ready for a tailgate for a radio show.
No. We got college football coming back. It's worth it.
All right, I was going to say. We're coming back. TV's like, and you're on. You're on. Go ahead and start speaking. Looking right now at what's going on right now. Dak Prescott dealt with anxiety and depression. Look, his brother died this year, and he was really close to his brother. It was his real brother in that Campbell Soup commercial. Not that is the important part of this conversation, but he is somebody that is, dealt with a lot. This is real. I don't deal with it. I know, from people close to me and others that, they deal with it, and they just, I think I've dealt with more stress probably in the last couple of years, but when it comes down to it, I am the kind of guy that leaves my credit card at a place, and then a week later,
me and Jeremy were talking about that.
This is not
when
funny,
I was out
actually.
of the room. Yeah,
I should probably stress out a little more. But when people get me into go mode, like today, I fight against things sometimes, and like today, I went out and went into Frank the Tank mode and got things accomplished. Like I know it's in there. It's just sometimes
Frank
pushing through
tank
that.
mode better include alcohol.
It was like that day that I ran a 3-minute mile. Roger Bannister, I got a call from his family. Now, they didn't count it. It was highly illegal. I was on a motorcycle, but apparently.
Never mind. I was going to say what you were on was highly illegal to run a 3-minute mile.
It was actually downhill in Lakeland, Florida on a rollerblades. Track and field. How badly? Do you get banned for life if you break out those roller shoes? You know the ones that you can buy now? The kids have the Kicks, the Vans.
The Heelys.
The Heelys.
Yeah.
But if you're in like a track and field and you got a clear lead, you like bust it knowing that everybody's pacing themselves. You get a huge lead knowing nobody's around you. Just find a hill.
Are you asking, do you get in trouble? Yes.
Well, but
no, wheels are not allowed.
I'm just saying, I'm about to start a track and field team, and I might have picked up a lot of kicks.
No, I don't think you need to start a track and field team.
No. Coach, what do we do? I have a hard time getting up the stairwell. You all just do your own thing right now. Looking at what's going on with
it's like the Bad News Bears over there drinking beer and hammered over in the corner.
Okay, looking at what's going on with Josh Bellamy. By the way, when you win the Scumbag of the Year award, it usually revolves. No, what?
I did a good job. I earned it.
That was you, not me. Okay. Josh Bellamy, though, $24 million COVID relief loan scam. That's what he's part of. Yeah. The U.S. Justice Department came after him. He received millions in paychecks. So if you lived in a city in New York that did not get a paycheck for your local business, like Vinny's Bagels, well, your PPP loans end up being from a company called Dripped Entertainment right there, LLC.
Sounds dirty.
He was buying a lot of Gucci and Dior, a lot of different things. Like those places like Prada and those others that you go to those strip malls and you think they're like, that looks like a cool shop that I can't afford to be in. We've walked by those before. Oh, look at that hand purse. Well, it starts with 4 figures, so I'm walking. And, yeah, that's where he is. $24 million scam. Scamming COVID money. Like the BP oil spill had that. Remember one of the guys committed suicide that was in charge of that? But when it comes down to this, there was a lot of fraud when it comes to that. There are people that are looking to take advantage of those kind of things. But this is at the worst time because there are so many businesses that lost everything because of people like this. $24 million was schemed. You know how many small businesses that could have saved?
6.
No, not 6.
Are they in New York?
What kind of
New York?
4
in New York?
All right. Yeah.
You ever been?
Yeah. There's also these little like Greek pads that you get in
How
antipasta.
Much rent? And all
right. You know what? $4 million. The big law firms around here got like 1.5. Don't. It's public knowledge. You can go online and.
Nothing's public knowledge. Get out of here.
It is public knowledge. $4 million for maybe a small hedge fund.
Okay.
Not like a Boston Market down the road. There. I mean, that's a chain, but Phil's Market, Phil's Chicken down there, Krusty Chicken Shack, some of these places,
6.
Jimbo's Krusty Chicken Shack.
6.
We used to go down there. $6 million. All right, now we're adding
No, not
up.
$6 million. 6 businesses.
I think we're reverting away from this guy deserves loser of the year.
We're reverting away from the fact that we have 2 football games on tonight.
No, they're not on yet.
But we have 10 minutes.
Okay, wait, let's break it down. Kansas City wins this game by a lot. And Miami should beat UAB by a lot. Let's
all
move
right,
on here.
We'll see you guys later.
Well, that's all the time. Yeah, exactly. So, well, there you go. We've already broke down this game. We have 10 minutes left of the show.
No. You're the one that told me in school they said that every 30, 40 minutes you got to go back and do the same story again.
They did.
We did that at the beginning of the show.
On a day that you didn't wake up at 8 and you've been running around all day and you're just ready to watch football. So.
But when you want to just talk about football.
Quickly, top matchups of the week. Cash or smash it. Syracuse versus UNC, or
no?
How did Syracuse even get it? Duke at Notre Dame.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, you don't remember. There's no SC. These are the best games of the week. Georgia Tech at FSU.
Yes.
Clemson at Wake.
No.
UTEP at Texas.
Yes.
You said that was
Go
such.
Miners. No,
I was going to say
Miners are going to upset Texas. No, it's not.
You Duke Notre Dame, you just give a huge rah-rah no to. And then I say UTEP
What's
and Texas.
intriguing about Duke Notre Dame?
What in the blank is intriguing? I almost just dropped a huge F-bomb on here. What is intriguing at all about the Miners and Texas? Or that was a complete clown?
That was a complete clown job,
okay.
yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, fair enough right here.
You excited that Chase Bryce, the former Clemson quarterback, is suiting up for the Blue Devils, baby, to go in there and get destroyed by Notre Dame?
I've only seen him in 1 or 2 games, and he looked really good. So I'm not ready to say that they're going to.
Yeah, he looked really good with that Clemson team behind him, not that Duke team behind him. Sorry. I know we have Phil Johnson from here, who's fantastic. They're going to need a lot more than him.
But from day one, let's go ahead and take a break. Sports Drive.
When is day one?
Let's go Chiefs. I'm a Chiefs fan now. Where's that
Go
sticker?
Canes.
Remember that?
By the way, Coach Jay,
where is that sticker?
In here, texting in here.
Where is that
Go
sticker?
Canes.
Who's texting in here?
Coach Jay. That's all you need to know.
Where
Go
is
Canes.
my Kansas City Chiefs sticker that I printed
We're
out?
going to break. Bye. Bye. Pensacola's own NFL Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith has some tips for us during this time.
This fight is up to all of us to try to help bend that curve. It's going to take teamwork. It's going to take us to stay committed, stay focused, and stay dedicated to the mission at hand, and that is to keep everyone safe. So be encouraging. Find some support. Find someone to talk to every day to encourage them to keep on continuing in this fight. And we will beat this pandemic.
Looking for a destination for all your lunchtime cravings? At 200 South, home to Graffiti Pizza, Taco Agave, and World of Beer, they've crafted the perfect lunch menu options for you beginning every day at 11. With newly updated menu options, there's something delicious to satisfy every lunchtime craving. From handcrafted pizzas to street tacos, pub burgers, and more. Head to 200 South in downtown Pensacola for lunch today. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram for daily menu features and upcoming events.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Florida. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Back to school season is here, and while the kiddos prepare to go back to school, your dogs are preparing to go back to camp. Camp Bow Wow in Pensacola is the perfect opportunity for your dogs to play all day and then snooze the night away. Whether just for a day of play or overnight boarding, Camp Bow Wow is Pensacola's premier destination for dogs for daycare, overnight boarding, or grooming. Book your dog's day of play at Camp Bow Wow today. Visit campbowwow.com/Pensacola. Unleash the fun. Camp Bow Wow, Pensacola.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Ah, there it is. Pride of the South Band right there. South Philly Jaguars, everybody.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Miami Hurricanes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, go Canes.
It was one or the other right there. I saw that in The Fresh Prince. It was one of the episodes. Looking right now at what's going on tonight. You're starting a team. Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott.
Deshaun. I'm going to make sure I put an offensive line in front of him first. Yes, Deshaun Watson.
Doesn't come with the package.
Well, I'm going to make sure I get it.
You don't get the chocolate and the bananas Foster.
I will.
Okay. Braves 29 runs. Would you watch a game? If you knew a game was going to score 29 runs, would you bring your kids to the game?
Yes.
Regardless, yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Even if you're a fan of the Marlins?
We wouldn't stay the entire time. Yeah.
You know those true heroes on the rain delays that stay around? Like 4-hour rain delays, and they're still there in the back. You're like, go home. It's a school night. That's all the time we have for today's show. God bless everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless. Time for your ESPN Pensacola sports headlines. Big night around the NBA. The LA Lakers looking to take game number 4 with a 30-27 lead. That game on TNT in the second quarter. Currently, good matchup right here in women's singles between Naomi Osaka and Jennifer Brady. In relation to Tom, they are all tied 5-5 right now in the first set. Later tonight, Serena Williams will take on Victoria Azarenka at 8 o'clock from Arthur Ashe Stadium in the semifinals. In the matchups right now in the NHL, getting rolling tonight, Vegas and Dallas, a matchup a lot of people excited to see, as Vegas always able to go out there, put up some big numbers, and going up against a Dallas team that just always finds a way to get it done. That game will be at 7 o'clock tonight. A lot of WNBA scores. Moving on to the Major League Baseball. Just that's all. You got a lot of WNBA games going on. Baseball, Cardinals with a 3-1 lead over the Tigers. Nationals with a 5-4 lead over the Braves. You've got the Kansas City Royals 4-0 over the Cleveland Indians. Phillies with a 4-2 lead over the Marlins. 2-2 Rays and Red Sox, and the Cardinals earlier today with a 12-2 win over the Tigers. 6-2 win for the Angels over the Rangers. Tonight, Kansas City, Texans. Thursday Night Football.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Pensacola's home for hometown sports. Your home to talk football with Coach K. Sports Drive with Chad Brillante and Sports Call with Davis Allen. If you'd like to partner with ESPN Pensacola or become a sponsor, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
This is Sports Center.
Steve Lennox, we are inside of 30 minutes for the start of the 2020 NFL regular season. Defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs playing host to the Houston Texans. Kansas City has won 5 straight season openers. That ties the organization with the Packers for the longest active streak in the NFL. ESPN NFL analyst Marcus Spears earlier on NFL Live on ESPN television saying that he believes it's going to be hard for the Texans to leave Arrowhead Stadium tonight with a victory.
There is no way for Houston to win it unless Deshaun Watson, like we've seen before, turns superhuman and does some things that's out of his mind. And could it happen? Yes, because we've seen it. But bottom line is, Patrick Mahomes is Superman as well, and he's going out there with the better team.
Marcus Spears today on NFL Live. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott sought help for anxiety and depression during the offseason, brought on by the death of his brother Jace and the coronavirus pandemic. Todd Archer has more on Dak Prescott's story on ESPN.com. Patriots quarterback